essential character EC3 controlling my narrative, and you are watching Young Kings Wrestling, and you have been warned. It's a good show.
We are live for episode 105 of the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast featuring the Sovereign Soundboard. As always, you can find us on most platforms streaming podcasts, including Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. There's others. We don't know. People listen to those others because it's like, I mean, bro, you got access to iTunes. Like, you got an iPhone. iTunes, Apple Podcasts is free. You know what I'm saying? YouTube is free. Google Podcasts is free. Spotify, right. I think Spotify podcasts are free. They are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything is free. We're available for the free on all of like the bigger apps. But if you like supporting small businesses and the whole nine, go check it out on like Podbean and Spreaker and there's a few other ones I don't know of, but they there. Like if you do a Google search, it'll pop up on some random sites that I don't know, but they did. So if you ever down on hard times, you know, they banned access to Spotify in the country one day. We got Spreaker. We good. Links to all the platforms are available at ykwrestling.com. We got merch there. You already know the deal with the merch. If you've been, it's right there. It's blurry now, but it's there. You know what it looked like by now because it's been out for like a year and some change now. So you already know the deal with those. You've been listening for the last year. You know the deal, and I'm not going to get into it because that just takes up like, it leaves potential for me to get into a rant about them people, about them alphabet boys, the BLM boys.
Yeah.
And I ain't about to do that right now. Oh yeah, he disabled his background blur. We got to see the work of art. Shout out to it. Hey man,
Matt said he wants the wolf pack, by the way.
Oh, the wolf pack. All right, it's coming. It's coming. I've been saying that. It's just I made the breast cancer one. Ain't nobody really buy those. So like they there. Get one of them, y'all. Get one like. October is next month. Yeah.
I'm about to say, we coming up on it. So
get one of them. Get one of them joints. We need them. Donations go to, breast cancer stuff that's not, I ain't about to get into it with them either. I just know these organizations, no matter who they are, they be on some shady stuff. Susie. I know, we know some people, be working with Susie, but
don't say no names.
God damn. If you follow us on Twitter, join in our conversation on social media using the hashtag YKWPod. As always, I am the thespian TC Fontaine, joined by the nature boy Reek Flair. I thought we gave Reek another nickname, no? Reek Melson.
No.
You the one that get the real scoops in here.
Well, you put it that way.
Yeah. See, gotta add some positivity to this this negative connotation that Malik threw out a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, oh man, I tell you something. He had a bad week too, my man. Alka-Seltzer. He had a real bad week.
Yeah, man. Certified liar boy.
What's up? And I don't care what nobody say. CLB was fired.
Hey, yo, listen. And I'm a guy. I split Drake's career up into two eras, like before ghostwriting, after ghostwriting. So I would give like if you're reading this, I would put that after ghostwriting because that's when the shit's popped up.
Yeah,
I love that album though. That shit was fire. But like everything after that, I really probably only enjoy More Life. But like the singles that he been dropping, like the one that was on the playoffs this year, and then the Lemon Pepper, and then the Odell, the one that had Odell in the video with Lil Durk. Like he was dropping all of them, and I was actually starting to like do music again. I was like, oh, he coming with some stuff I like again. CLB was fire for sure.
No doubt.
So yeah, shout out to Drake out here getting back in his bag. I enjoy it. What's your favorite song off CLB?
Oh man, that joint with Ross and Wayne.
Oh yeah.
That's hitting for me. That's hitting for me.
That No Friends Wayne went crazy. No Friends in the Industry. I mean, it was cool. It's very hypocritical because he got like an album riddled with features on it talking about he don't got no friends. But my favorite song is actually, it's gonna make me sound soft, but like Race My Mind is kind of fire because it remind me of that old Drake that I used to really listen to back like 10 something years ago. Some real like what was that damn album? Nothing Was the Same. Sound like something that'd be on it. So, but we talking about rapping, the joint with Project Pat and 21 Savage go crazy. Seen people talking about who Project Pat. Y'all young asses off of the internet.
Oh God, go somewhere, please.
Mr. Don't Play. You talking about Project Pata, French braid gold Tifa. That's who we talking about.
This show is not for you if you don't know.
It is not for you, man. This is, if you was born like before 1995, you can fuck with our show. I'll say that's the cutoff.
Yeah.
So actually, no, I'll give it 1996 because that's when Malik was born, so I can't leave him out. But he cultured for a young boy. He cultured.
Yeah, yeah, he know his shit. So he good.
We all good. Hey man, I'm sorry to turn this from joyous to very sad, and so I'm going to keep this brief. I want to send our condolences out to former WCW and TNA talent Daphne, passed away. I think was it Thursday night, Wednesday night, one of those. Yeah, just I'm gonna just put this out there because if you saw the video, you know what it's about. If you didn't see the video, I'm not gonna go into detail about what the video is about. So if you want to see it that badly, you better go and seek it out somewhere. Like, but I wouldn't recommend watching it.
It shouldn't be out there.
Nah, yeah. If it's out there, it needs to be not out there. Because I watched it not knowing what I was watching, and it really just clicked with me earlier as I'm doing the show notes and I'm like putting this segment together. I'm just like, I watched that shit. I basically watched the woman take her life on video, not expecting to see it. And I just like continued on with my week. And that shit was kind of weird. And like, it didn't register with me because like I'm at work watching it. Like I'm at work scrolling and I just see the video pop up. I seen people talking about it the night before, but I just was I wasn't in tune with what was going on. And I was like, oh, I seen people talking about Daphne. What happened? Search her name, video pops up, I watch it. I'm like, oh. So 800-273-8255. You already know what that is. Go ahead. Call them first before you feel the need to make a permanent decision. Like, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's kind of dark.
Reach out, man. Talk to people that you love, people that love you. I mean, it's always.
If you feel like you got nobody, you got 800-273-8255.
There you go. It's always a better way, man.
Yeah. Moving on, man. Because that's real heavy. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. But what you been watching this past week, man?
Whew. I finally got caught up on all of the Broken Skull sessions, including the Almighty WWE champion.
Yo, wasn't that bank story crazy?
That and the when he talked about the schedule that he was working when he was an Impact while still under contract to fight. Like, my dude was like doing a show in wrestling, was doing his show, and then would go right into fight week. Like, bro, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you doing shows and stuff, not knowing how that's gonna turn out. I know if you're gonna get, he actually talked, he did get hurt at one point in time. And it's like he's still like, okay, I gotta suck it up and get ready to train for a real fight. Like, bro.
I mean, Impact back then was a side hustle. That shit wasn't no job. That shit was like doing Uber Eats or something. Like motherfuckers just showed up there to make a little extra money. Dead ass. That's the reason Cross left, because like they told that nigga to get a part-time job. I was like, hold up, I can go to NXT and do this shit.
Right, man. Like that's terrible.
Yeah, they was down bad. They're a little better now. They like a roach. You can't kill them. They will never die. They will never die. They will stick around some way. Especially because they can produce their own shit now. So like they got Twitch. They can do that. The people who own them own the network that they own. So like they good until the network decide to be like, oh, fuck these niggas no more. They probably get their highest ratings on the network though. So that wouldn't be wise. Because like who else watch Access Television?
No, that's not a thing.
I don't watch it except for Thursday evenings at 5:00 Pacific time.
That's it. I'm like, you would think they'll be thriving since the door is open, but don't nobody like to go Impact. So I don't know.
Oh, and then they number one partner. Why the fuck do they care about that door now? Because they got some shit brewing, and we're gonna talk about. But what I watched this past week, we was just talking about Drake's CLB album, and I was really thirsty to make a CLB joke because the first thing I thought of was Christian, and so I had to go back and watch it because I was curious. I was like, when did Stone Cold first call Christian a CLB? And what led him to do that? And it was just randomly in a backstage segment. But I watched that episode of Raw. And that episode of Raw was the night after Unforgiven. So I was just like, shit, I might as well watch Unforgiven. Shane versus Kane, Falls Count Anywhere. Man, Shane jumped off the stage and missed. So maybe he should stop trying to jump from high places onto a brother of destruction, because he the one that get destroyed. Also, we got Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels. I want to say it was for the first time on pay-per-view back in 2003. So that was dope. We got Christian versus Chris Jericho and RVD for the Intercontinental title. That was fire. The next night we had Christian and RVD in a ladder match for the title, which remember that. Haven't gotten there yet, but I do remember the match being dope. And so just because y'all were good this week in wrestling. Y'all was good. So I did not have a peasant of the week. And even AEW, they put on a really good show tonight. And I can't give them peasant of the week for anything because there's nothing that they did peasant worthy. So I'm going to give a retroactive peasant of the week to Vince McMahon in 2003. Because on this Unforgiven pay-per-view, this man booked Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross versus Jonathan Coachman and Al Snow.
I'm packing the edits, guess what?
These peasants, you peasants.
So that was like the match right before the main event. And the stipulation was the winner becomes the commentary team for Monday Night Raw. And JR and King lost. But I would have looked at the records. I would have looked at the match records, and this man, Jim Ross, wrestled way too much against non-wrestlers in 2003. Because he wrestled against, I'm trying to go off the top of my head. I was so disgusted with it, I closed out of the tab. He had a match with Jonathan Coachman the next week after that. That was in like Chicago, I think. And he had a match with Eric Bischoff like 2 months before that. So that was his career high. In 2011, he also had 3 matches, but like some of those matches featured actual wrestlers, so it wasn't as bad because they were able to do the work. Jerry King Lawler is an actual wrestler. Al Snow's an actual wrestler, but it's Jerry King Lawler and Al Snow we're talking about. JR's last match, he tag teamed with John Cena. So for comparison's sake.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Vince McMahon, you get a retroactive Peasant of the Week for 2003, and you are lucky that this is the only thing from 2003 that I'm giving you Peasant of the Week for, because boy, I could get you on a bunch of charges from that year because you was foul. Like this wasn't even the worst thing you did. The worst thing, Vince, all right, I'm doing it.
I'm packing the edits, guess what?
These peasants, you peasants.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. No Mercy, you remember that shit.
Oh, I was going somewhere different, but go ahead.
He faced his own daughter in an I Quit match, and he was choking the fuck out this bitch with a lead pipe on live pay-per-view. Your own daughter. The image is out there forever. I can Google that, and it'll immediately pop up. That man is a wild boy.
I was gonna say Zach Gowen.
Oh, he wild for that too. Hold up. Vince.
I'm packing the edits, guess what?
These peasants, you peasants.
You had a one-legged man out there getting his ass beat by Brock Lesnar in front of his mama.
Busted his whole face leaking, threw him down the stairs.
Man has one leg, right? Threw this man's leg into the steel post on the ring. He can't walk. He in a wheelchair. Throw this man out of his wheelchair down some stairs the next week. Vince McMahon in 03 was wilding, and I'm in a good mood. So you get Peasant of the Week 3 times. It is an honor, sir, to give you Peasant of the Week so soon, just because I was going down memory lane.
Damn.
3 times. Our first 3 times Peasant of the Week. Our first 3-time Peasant of the Week, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the greatest wrestling promoter of all time.
And that's not even mentioning Booker T.
Oh. All Out. Let's talk about All Out. We can move over. That's spend all day talking about that.
People like you don't win world championships. You know what I'm saying? That was a
Dance for Me book. That's the one that got me. I'm 10 years old. I was even just like, hold on, you ain't supposed to say that.
The segment where he was in the bathroom and he was like handing him the paper towels and shit, like, oh yeah, you clean this up and shit. Like, nah, man.
And then, like the next year, this man, Randy Orton, just a bunch of microaggressions towards Shelton Benjamin on the microphone. If you remember that one. Hey, don't you get uppity with me, Shelton. That shit was random. What is Ric Flair teaching these people, bro?
I don't know, man.
Like, hold on. Y'all ain't supposed to, this is 2003, 2004 we talking about. You ain't supposed to go full 70s Ric Flair. Like, some things is just not acceptable in this time. Like, y'all could go to the clubs and all the women flying the private jets and the helicopters. That's different. Casual racism, you gotta leave that back in 1975, Rick. Can't be teaching them that.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why I suffer. Like, I'm glad he got accepted in the mainstream culture, but y'all should know. There was a time back in the day. Teddy Long got some stories.
Yeah, that Dark Side of the Ring coming out soon. I think this month, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Plane Ride from Hell was in 2003, wasn't it?
Yes, 2002.
Oh yeah. Because what's his name? Mr. Perfect was on.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect, Brock, Kurt.
They the ones I need on this episode. Like I need participants.
I need y'all to fly
like,
y'all asses to Canada and interview Brock on his ranch.
Yeah.
Y'all would have had to pop up there with a bag full of money, like, hey. But Brock would be like, how the fuck you guys find me?
Yeah, man. You gotta
I bet Vince don't even know where Brock live at.
You probably don't. But yeah, I gotta back that Brinks truck up to the crib to make it happen.
Right. Y'all
Rick,
can't show up empty-handed.
Him and Rick are the main ones I need to hear from. Nobody else really matters.
I want to hear from Kurt if he can remember. I know Kurt don't be remembering shit, but
oh yeah, he gone.
But I know we're not ever gonna hear from Vince.
Oh hell no!
Like
that man gonna deny every story that ever come out. Like it was a story on a whole different flight where he kept. I think Matt Hardy was telling it on the Storytime thing. Like he kept talking about how Vince was trying the whole flight to try and catch him and like get him a takedown on him or some shit like that.
I heard that about Kofi too.
Yeah, him, Kofi, Kurt Angle. He tried to.
Kurt wasn't playing right from him.
Yeah, but there was a whole different story. He kept trying to pin Kurt, and Matt was telling him like, "Yo."
Oh, it was a different time he was fucking with Kurt.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's like, he was drunk as hell. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get you, Kurt. I'm gonna get you." And so Matt finally tipped him off. He was like, "Yo, Vince is coming." He was like, "Okay, cool." So he played like he was asleep and still caught that motherfucker, got it down. So Vince was pissed at Matt. But yeah, no, that man is a menace in the air.
I heard that man had the Road Warriors give him the Doomsday device at a bar one time when they was drunk.
Yeah.
That man's crazy.
It's something.
I recently found out a new Vince McMahon story I never heard before. I did not know the story behind why Nails left WWF back in 1992. This man beat Vince McMahon's ass in his office.
Yeah.
Over a disagreement about some money.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, what did I
need that Netflix doc immediately.
It was on one of What Culture's list. They talked about that. I forget which one it was, but I remember that story. Yo, listen. The tell all book, the doc. I need something that's gonna be unfiltered and as close to the truth as humanly possible. I just need it, just one time.
I need Vince to just have like a log, just like motherfuckers just have conversations. He just tells stories about every year that he's ran that company. Every year, every month, every detail. Sit down with this man, have them shit recorded, and they can be put in the vault with the Owen Hart footage until it's necessary to bring it out.
I feel like he probably doing that. Like he got some people like working on something quietly. It's like it's not gonna be released till like after he passed away or something like that.
That's why he don't be available all the time, because they're doing something for it.
Like the day Vince is gone, the next day you're gonna see
they're gonna have something ready.
All the tapes are just gonna drop. It's gonna be like a 6-part series.
First thing we're gonna see is gonna be him talking. If you're watching this now, I'm probably dead. Some shit he would do.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag knowing Vince. You know how people on the internet always act like they know Vince, like knowing Vince, he'd do this and that. Like, y'all know this, man. We don't know what he would do. It's so unpredictable.
I really don't.
Anyway,
fucking wall.
Enough about our first ever 3-time Peasant of the Week. I don't think I can give nobody Peasant of the Week more than 3 times unless Vince has me give him Peasant of the Week another time, which is a lot of he might get Peasant of the Week a lot. If something I'm watching from back in the day entices me to give him Peasant of the Week and don't nobody else get the honor that week, it's gonna be him. So you might get a lot of Vince on here. Anyway, moving on. All Out was tonight, and it was actually a really, really good show, because you remember that first pay-per-view they put on this year. Yeah. So this ironically had no Cody Rhodes on the show, and it was amazing. So do with that information what you will. I turned on
the All Lives Matter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I turned on the main event, but the buy-in, and I saw like Jack Evans out there, and I saw Marco Stunt. I turned that shit right up. I finished watching Raising Kanan. I started Raising Kanan a couple days ago. I already caught it. Like I caught up right before this shit aired on TV tonight. Yo, that shit good as fuck, man. I don't know if you started it yet.
I was just talking with my cousin before I left today. I was like, yo, Joey Badass
He good, bro.
Bro, I did not know this man had chops like that in acting. Like,
Wasn't
I don't
he,
even listen to Joey Badass.
Me neither. Cause I was thinking like, man, his music boring. Like, if it's acting like his music, I ain't gonna like it. But he should stop making music and act like full time.
Yeah.
I think he was in a Wu-Tang joint too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it might be. I gotta watch that. But no, like we said the same thing. Like, yo, bro, let that music shit go. This man is killing it on this.
See what happened to Luda.
Right. Come on. When the last Luda joint that we heard that was really jumping?
Meth. See what Meth doing. I was watching NXT, and one of them Fast and Furious movies came on after NXT this past week. So I watched that. I think it was the fifth one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably Fast 5.
Yeah. And then after Fast 5, Law and Order came on. And I started just watching Law and Order, SVU. So I was like, it's my shit too. So I just keep it on. And Method Man was on that episode. And I don't remember when the episode was, but Method's horrible. Like, he way better acting now.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, Joey Badass start acting. Anyway, I was watching Raising Kanan, and I did not watch the buy-in because I don't give a shit. Seen too many people I didn't care about that I did not want to invest my time in when I could be finishing the episode I was watching. So let's get into the main show, however. For the TNT Championship, Miro defeated Eddie Kingston. And I'm going to give this one a B.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
Because Big Meaty Man was slapping meat,
Yes, sir.
beating each other's ass. Miro doing... Whenever Miro do a drop kick, I'm still astonished because it's just like, man, you be getting high up as fuck for a big ass dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bruh.
That's my guy. He need to be world champ by the end of the year.
You know what I'm saying? He trimmed down too, but still, it's like,
oh yeah,
he's just naturally a big fucking dude. So,
post-match, Miro tweets out, asking you shall receive, your nuts have been redeemed. Because Eddie Kingston is 45 years old, and making these nuts jokes is still cool to old ass niggas like him.
You seen what his wife retweeted though, right?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. They some wild people. I feel like she coming next too.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm gonna go B+ for all the same reason. This was textbook Big Meaty Man slapping meat, and I'm all on the Miro train ever since he won the TNT title. He need to keep it for as long as he wanted, and I would not be mad if he hold the world title. I don't know if it'll happen by the end of the year because I don't know when they're gonna get it off Kenny, but it's got to be a face. So unless they're trying to do a quick turnaround by the end of the year, but nah, man, I need to just keep giving me more Miro.
Not by end of the year, by full, not full year, but Revolution.
Yeah, I can think that. But yeah, just keep giving me more Miro. That's all that matters. It's quality.
I love Miro back in WWE. Like when he started talking on the mic more and being funny and showing more personality, that's when I really started rocking with him.
Oh man, when he stopped giving a fuck of the whole like the Lana segment and him getting a divorce, bro.
Even before that,
never popped harder for that man than that more.
Oh yeah, but like even before that, this man, when he used to have long hair, this man called himself the Bulgarian George Clooney and twirled his hair. And I was like, this dude is hilarious. I like this guy. Next up, wasn't for nothing, but it was they broke us off with a preview of the remix. Because this was Big Meaty Man Slapping Meat Part 2.
Big Meaty Man Slapping Meat.
Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. And yeah, I like this one better, so I'm giving it a B+. But after the match, my God, my dude, this is probably my favorite one of my favorite wrestlers in New Japan, Suzuki Gun, Minoru Suzuki, that badass motherfucker. He like 50 years old. He one of the few 50-year-old wrestlers that I just love to see. I like to see a lot of them, but like I like to see Suzuki pop up. I remember Moxley first showed up in New Japan when he first like started doing everything a couple years ago. And Suzuki came out face to face with old boy. That was in Japan. And I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down. But this on American soil. And they facing each other on Dynamite this Wednesday. So I know how they like to do, putting Moxley out there, opening the show. It's his homecoming. He in his hometown. Put that boy out there first. That's the first thing I want to see on Dynamite when I turn my TV on Wednesday. I want to see Moxley and Suzuki.
Yes,
I need
sir.
that, man.
Yes, sir.
Beat that man's ass too. Choke that man out.
Oh man, listen, and that's why like I'm giving this like a B plus. I'm just short of giving it an A because it was what I expected.
Suzuki popping up made me give it an A+.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it was what I expected it to be, but then seeing Suzuki show up, like the murder grandpa in the building, and then they had this swinging back and forth. Like, yo, I need this. I need more. Like you said, start the show off with this match. And whatever else you're gonna do the rest of the night is gonna be whatever. Like that's gonna be a great show once you start it off like that. Just keep that moving.
For sure. Next up for the AEW Women's Championship, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defeats Chris Statlander, and this was better than I anticipated it because I didn't anticipate it to be that good of a match. And I'm gonna give it a B-, but I did downgrade it to a C+ because Britt Baker hit a Panama Sunrise, which was foreshadowing, and a curb stomp within like 5 seconds, and Chris Statlander kicked out of both. Those are two other people. They're finishers. Two former world champions in WWE. That's their finishers, and somebody kicked out on them. Wasn't enough. So I didn't like that. I don't like when people's moves get used. Like people like Petey Williams. Can you imagine how Petey Williams feels seeing his shit get used all the time and people just be kicking out? That man had to come back to Impact to show folks how it's done. Like this, I don't even know what he was doing. I thought he was retired. I don't know if he was, but I'm going to assume he was. This man came out of retirement because y'all was doing his move wrong. So anyway, best match from both of the women that I've seen, I think. I mean, Britt Baker had those matches with Thunder Rosa, but
I'm about to say, yeah.
But shout out to whoever helped produce this match because this was a really good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of went the other way. I started in C territory and then I kind of moved up to B because those last couple of minutes really kind of it really ramped it up a little bit. And when I saw that Panama Sunrise, like I tweeted it, I said, Britt trying to tell us something with that Panama Sunrise. And sure enough, we'll get to that. We'll get there. But nah, man, like I've been saying I wasn't expecting to see all of this out of Chris Statlander, but I mean, the vibe was real. And Orange Cassidy was like hyped up, like, yo, I ain't never seen this dude talk.
Right. He said, no, get your ass up.
My man was getting up for this. I'm like, okay, all right. So they was creating. You got to create a big fight feel for matches like this. So that really did. So I think I'm gonna settle on a B+ for this one too. This was good.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, man, for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. My soundbite wasn't ready. Hold up. For the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
Finally!
The Lucha Brothers defeat the Young Bucks. Leave right there. And
it's about damn time. It's about damn time.
And it was about what you'd expect from these teams. But I will say this. I feel like confining them within a cage kind of forced them to be creative. So they couldn't do all that shit outside of the ring that they be doing. They had to get creative. And I enjoyed it because it kind of locked them down and locked them in a little bit. So they couldn't just do all that extra shit that they be doing. But I'm gonna give this an A+++ for the Young Bucks losing. Because y'all know how I feel about them. Next step is them kind of going into the background a little bit because they don't need to be on the foreground. It's been going on 3 years. They can take a step back and just do EVP shit. I thought that super kick spot was goofy. They was all like in a Mexican standoff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was kind of goofy. Like they kipping up and doing, yeah, that was whack. But other than that, it was cool. I thought the thumbtacks in the shoe, I think it would have hit different. It would have hit better if, I mean, y'all defacing valuable Air Jordans, but I do like the concept of that as a weapon. Is very on brand with them. Yeah. But I think it would have hit better if we didn't see them just do that a few weeks ago. Like if they just would have brought a shoe out with some thumbtacks on it and be like, because I mean they've done the spot years ago, but they just did it a couple weeks ago on the same show, so it didn't hit as much. Like it's just the moments, like it just would have been a better moment. But that's my spiel on it.
Now I'm gonna give it an A. I'm taking the plus off, and I don't want to, but fact is, A, the thumbtacks in the shoe. I've been saying it for the longest time. I'm sick and tired of the disrespect to the footwear, and now y'all gotta pay for it. So for that reason, I'm taking the plus off. But also, I'm starting to understand why people really don't mess with Spot Fest, because I said it before. It's like it comes a time where it goes so much further that you get to the point that it's like sensory overload, like all these false finishes and all these extra spots, like with the super kicks and the chops when they just stand around in the circle. Like there was so many different points before that you could have ended the match on that it still would have been solid and up there. But it's like, you know, you get so much into telling the story, it's like you don't know how to end it. You know what I'm saying? So that can make it drag a little bit. It was going to be a great match regardless. It wasn't going to suffer if you cut off 5 to 7 minutes, but it did the job. So I'm still giving it a day, but the plus is coming off. Y'all going to leave these fucking sneakers alone because y'all are just that. I said it. The most heel thing that the Bucks, I don't care nothing else they do. The most heel thing they do is defacing Air Jordans on a regular basis. It's disgusting. I'm sick of it. I won't stand for it. I'm docking your letter grade.
That is fair, and I cannot agree more. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Imagine Michael Jordan. Like, imagine he ever knew what this shit was. You know, Michael Jordan don't fuck about this shit.
Oh no.
Like y'all could be like, I mean, they came off the Space Jam, Michael. He'd be like, I don't give a fuck. You know how Michael Jordan is. But imagine he just seen this shit and seeing what they was doing to his shoes. Michael Jordan will probably contact the company, the network, whoever, and put out a cease and desist. Say, y'all can't wear my shoes like that no more.
I was just about to say that, yo, the second Michael Jordan ever turned on TV and see AEW and they pull this shit, the next day, Tony Khan gonna receive an invoice directly from Mike or
Jordan
his
brand.
team. You know what I'm saying? His people will send that invoice and be like, y'all gonna have to cut that shit out. Like, I don't want to see that no more.
Stop it. Get some help.
That's the first and only warning. Cause you don't want to mess with us over here. We ain't gonna ask you twice.
Nah. Yeah,
Michael, you gonna see
Michael Jordan
the Bucks. You gonna see the Bucks come out next week with some damn New Balances after that.
Right.
They gonna be done.
Right. Thanks. Next up, we had the Casino Battle Royale. And we had the big joker was Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott, who wins the match and wins #1 contendership for the Doctor. First off, I want to say I forgot how fine Carl Sheeta was. She don't be on my TV no more. She lost the championship, and I don't think she's been on Dynamite once since that I can remember.
They got
Which I remember Asuka lost the title and was on Main Event a couple of times, and y'all was losing your mind.
Oh man.
Sheeta ain't been on TV in going on 4 months. She looked good though. Kiera Hogan was there too. She always looked good.
Oh man. Man, let me tell you.
I was doing homework during this match, so I have nothing to say about this match. Like I kind of tapped back in with the final three, which was Thunder Rosa, Nyla Rose, and Ruby Soho. You know, you got to get the big one out of there at all times in a battle royal. Make sure you get the big person out first, or as soon as you can. And that was the soonest that they were able to get her out of that ring. And I think they need to build that division around Thunder Rosa and Ruby at least by this time next year. Like have some women you can actually that can actually lead. Like Thunder Rosa is a trainer. Ruby is been around everywhere, so she knows how to work several different styles, and she's a good glue partner. I don't want to hear y'all saying she was misused. Like, could they have used her more? Yeah, but she was not misused. That makes sense. Two different things. She was used perfectly fine. She just could have been used more in that same role that she was in.
Right.
So don't say she was misused. She was used perfectly fine. She was great where she was. She was a small fish, big pond.
Exactly. Yeah, man. It messed up my predictions because I was
Same.
everything else I pretty much hit on. So
like soon as Thunder Rosa's feet hit the floor, I was like, man, what the fuck? I said it just like that.
I'm like, bro. I mean, like, I'm not mad because like that's good for Ruby. Like, I think she needed that, but I'm like, you still could have built her up more and kept this train going, give her some momentum. I was on the Thunder Rosa train as I always am, but I'm like, I'm not mad. It's just it was an instant reaction. Like, damn, I had it. I seen it clear as day. I saw how it was going to end, and it would have been fine if she was the last person eliminated. Because again, you can still tell a story with that. But
yeah.
Oh man, I can't lie and say I didn't have that knee-jerk reaction. Like, bruh, come on, man. But I honestly, I think that could be the start of something. Like, if anything, that could be the start of a heel run for Thunder Rosa. Like, she could use that like
she was
catalyst.
the way she was acting after the match.
Yeah, the next time her and Britt show up, Britt will probably be a face by then, and then Thunder will be the heel, and then you have a whole different story to tell. So I'm cool with it when I look at it from that point. Grade wise, I give it like a B+.
Yeah, I can't give it a grade. Like I said, I wasn't
it goes so fast though.
Yeah,
like I know like they got different sections of people who got to come out with the suits and stuff like that, but it's just like as soon as they get in there, 3 people gone like within the first 30 seconds. Yeah. It's just like gone.
It is what it is though, man. I've seen Jade, I've seen Kiera, I've seen Sheeta. That's all I needed.
I wanted Jade in the final 3.
I did too. At least final 4.
Yeah.
I didn't even see when she got eliminated. Like, I just looked up, she wasn't in the ring no more.
Yeah, not Nyla eliminated.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wouldn't have done that. But you can always tell that story. So I wouldn't be too mad at it. Next up, Chris Jericho versus MJF. If Chris Jericho loses, he has to retire from in-ring competition. And he did lose. It was a dusty finish. His foot was on the rope. Ref comes down and is like, Jericho's foot was on the rope. And they restart the match. And they almost had me too. They almost had me during that restart. I thought MJF was going to get his win back again. But Jericho wins. I'm going to give this one a B, man. A bunch of different things, man. First off, excuse me, MJF and Jericho, they came to work tonight. Like, they really came to work. Had a great match. It was better than the match they had on Dynamite a couple weeks back. It was actually really good. MJF came out to that Y2J countdown, And so I'm thinking like Vince McMahon probably back there throwing a fit, like, yo,
Oh my god.
they're using my intellectual property, damn it.
Oh,
But
man.
it ended up being MJF. My man's came out there dressed like Lord Farquaad, had the robe on.
Yo, he did.
MJF,
man.
old Sovereign Soundboard dressed ass nigga.
Oh my god. Oh,
You
yo,
old King Booker ass. I ran out of jokes. I don't got no more jokes. Imagine paying the pay-per-view price and then you get a Fozzy performance you did not ask for. That's like when Apple put the U2 album on everybody's phones. Like, nobody asked for this shit.
I feel like they ran through that idea, you know, the day before or the day of before doors hit, and they said, okay, this is, you know, y'all just don't play the music, just do your thing on the solo. They'll fill in the gaps with the lyrics, even though everybody don't know them for some reason.
They don't know the lyrics, and then like also it doesn't help that white people just naturally don't have rhythm, and so nobody ever sings this song on beat, on key.
It was lost.
Even when there are lyrics, they still don't sing it on beat.
He wasn't keeping up with the dude performing. Like, it just went off the rails so fast. Like, this wasn't smart. I don't know what y'all envisioned.
Jericho could have wore a headset, came out there and sang his own lyrics like R-Truth.
Yeah, man. This wasn't it. Like, we're not doing the labors no more. He doesn't have no edict that he can't play his music. Play the damn music and call it a day. Like, this was unnecessary.
What do you think about the match?
Oh, so here's the thing. Right, here's the thing. I'll give it a B plus. It was good, not great, but you know, for where Jericho is in his career, like you said, he showed up to work. This was part one of this long-standing question that I'm gonna have from now until I get a damn answer. What constitutes a disqualification in pro wrestling? Because this man took him out into the stands, into the crowd, was throwing him all around. Then he picked up that damn pole from inside the crowd and he threw it on him. Referee didn't say nothing. No bell was rung. Nothing whatsoever. We went on, continued the match like nothing ever happened. Then later down the line in the match, when Wardlow shows up and Hager shows up, Aubrey distracted. MJF has the bat. He's hiding it. Waits for Aubrey to turn her back and hits him with it. Like, oh, she don't see it, so now it didn't happen. And that had to be hidden because it would have been disqualification. Meanwhile, there was a ref sitting right there watching the whole thing, apparently. He got to jump in when Jericho got counted for the 3, even though his foot was on the rope. So he steps in and says, oh, hey, I was watching. His foot was on the ropes. So you was watching his foot on the ropes, but you didn't see this fool just hit him with a bat and say, hey, he should have disqualified him. He lost the match. But Jericho just throwing people later on. There's another one I got to touch on later, but it's like, what's a DQ? Because when you hit somebody with the top piece off the commentary table, that's disqualification apparently. But this man is throwing pieces of the arena equipment on the people with no consequence whatsoever. I don't understand.
I think I might have an explanation for that. You know, when you watch Monday Night Raw and you might have like a match between two people and then that shit just becomes a DQ after 5 minutes and then they turn it into a tag team match. And then like every now and then they might have another DQ in that match and it turns to a 6-man and some shit.
Oh yeah.
AEW has made it a thing to not have disqualifications because WWE does them excessively. And so they just went to the whole other extreme and they don't do them at all. So that answers your question. So I think that'll save you a little bit of time on the other thing you was talking about. I know you're talking about in the other match too. But
yeah, like just give me a list. Just
because like I don't can you think of a disqualification that has ever occurred at AEW?
No,
they don't do them. They don't. That's not a part of their rules. So that's why there's no disqualifications in these matches. It's just they don't explain that. It's just something I picked up on because I think I remember like Cody or somebody talking about it when they first launched, and like it's one of the few things they kind of stuck to. But,
like the officiating in AEW
it's bad.
Suspect before, and now I'm just like, put up a screen or something with the rules before every match. Yeah. That's where I'm at now because I'm lost, man. I'm lost.
Okay. Next up, we had I don't know what he'll tell you, but CM Punk returns to the ring. He defeats Darby Allin DeGeneres. Man, look like Ellen DeGeneres. That's his new nickname for me. I'm gonna give this one a C. Just I'm not a Darby fan, so that takes me out of matches that I watch because it's just like I don't like watching this dude. And so when I see him out there, I just kind of mentally tune out, no matter who he's facing or no matter what the match is about. I just can't get into it. Few people like that in this wrestling industry, but it did what it needed to do, man. And that was reestablish CM Punk. Didn't do much other than that. CM Punk, he looked like he's only been gone since 2014 instead of 2005. Say he was gone since 2005. But I was watching this and I remember it helped restore that feeling a little bit. I remember why this guy was my favorite wrestler at one point in time. Even watching old stuff, but like just watching him do it live for the first time. This man was wearing tights though. That was kind of weird, but
yeah,
I was expecting the basketball shorts from the last time you apparently wrestled.
Like when he first was walking out, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, he got some shorts on. Okay, good. Let's get that. Pepsi plunge? No? Okay.
Right. I was expecting that too. He got to break that shit up
at some point.
Like you can't bring it out the first match. I understand, but you ain't did that shit since OVW.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do it because Triple H did it, so that was his move. You was not allowed to. Yeah, this was cool, man. I gave it a C. Like Darby losing is great. It wasn't enough to bump my grade up, but CM Punk teased the heel turn at the end, though.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if y'all caught that. He accidentally went to the wrong tunnel. They do heel and babyface tunnels in AEW. If y'all do not pay attention on some, they really TNA. The TNA did that shit back in the day. And I heard they about to start taping Rampage episodes in the Impact Zone too.
Oh shit!
So they TNA Junior. I used to love TNA though. That's not a bad thing.
There was a time.
Prime TNA.
Yeah. There was a good time.
Like they peak was small, but it was dope. One more thing though. After this match, we get a tweet from Kenta that says "Fuck you, CM Punk," all caps.
Listen, don't be mad because Daddy's home and your shit is done now. Sorry, maybe I could duke it out for custody of the move. I don't know what to tell you.
Now that's Kenta move, bro. Let's not be disrespectful.
Listen, man. Where's he at? I don't
know. He do it way better though.
He ain't over here. He is. That's what I'm saying. He can show up. Oh, he here?
I think he here. He live here.
He can show up. He can scrap it out for it. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna give it a B. And this is coming from me. Who I've been one for saying Darby don't do it for me. I'm not gonna shit talk him no more. I'm really not, because I said it's a lot of pressure for this kid to be, where he's gonna have to kind of take the lead on this one, because Punk hasn't been in this particular scenario in about 7 years, so
or 16,
kind of helping him along. Yeah, kind of helping him along with it to get reacquainted and stuff like that.
I'm not letting that shit go.
He did.
I'm not letting that shit go.
It's a good point though. It's a good point. He did. He went above and beyond as far as I'm concerned. Like he really went out of his way to make this dude look as fresh as possible, and put him over in the biggest way he could. I mean, like a lot of it is Jeff Hardy-esque. We get it, but I mean, listen, Punk was game, and look, I gotta
Never say that shit. Not shit on my face.
I said already esque. I didn't say he was no, but yeah, man, like this hit all the perfect notes for me. I gotta tip my cap to the kid. He did his thing. Earned my respect tonight. And listen, Punk is back, man. I didn't a year ago. I would not have called it, but the man is back. And I think the more I think about it now, like Darby was the perfect guy to kind of cut his teeth on to get back into it, because he like you said, he worked his ass off. So I gotta give it to him tonight. I didn't want to, but I had to.
You better than me. You don't get the courtesy from me. Next up, I'm sure he cares a lot. Next up, yeah, man, this was really I seen a video of him inside of the arena. As soon as the video package played, everybody started leaving, going to the bathroom, concessions, all that. Paul White versus QT Marshall.
Hey, ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit, man.
Hey, man, listen.
Just mark me incomplete now. I didn't watch it.
I watched it. I watched it because I told y'all what I wanted from this match, and I did not get it. I got a few things from this match that I did not want. First off, I'm gonna give this an F. Well, it was an F off rip. Like it started out as an F. It could not get any higher than an F when they first made the match. This man, Big Show, Paul White, can barely walk to the ring. Like this man looked like he hurting to walk to the ring. Every bit of force that shoots up through his leg when he stepped down just looked like it was painful. I know that walk. That walk did not. Go ahead.
I've seen Mick. I've met him in person several times. When Mick can walk seemingly more comfortably than you, there is a problem.
Big Show was walking like how I told y'all that Brutus, the barber beefcake, was walking that day, where I couldn't get his attention, and I wasn't trying to get his attention because he was Brutus, the barber beefcake. Like, I was born in 1992. I don't care to try to get Brutus the Barber Beefcake's attention at all. The reason I'm trying to get this man's attention is we are at a convention and he dropped his credentials. And I'm like, yo, he might need that because he's a talent. He's a talent. Probably need his credentials to get in to where he needs to get into. And this man is very old, could not hear anything. But this man was walking very briskly and walking very Paul White-esque. But yeah. But it started off as an F for your boy and ended up with a negative Z minus because it was a few things I wanted from this match that I did not get. I did not want Paul White selling any offense whatsoever. I did not want the match being as long as it was. And that match was about 3 minutes long. It's about maybe 5 minutes long, about 3 to 5 minutes longer than I wanted it to be. What I wanted from this match was ding, 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 QT Marshall on the attack, walking right into a Big Show fist. 1, 2, 3. That's what it should have been. That's what it wasn't. It is a negative Z minus. That is it for me. We will move on. I don't even want you to say what you got to say because I've spent way too much time talking about this match right now. But I'll let you say what you're going to say.
Just real quick. So the only parameters I had for this was I needed to end inside a minute and no offense from QT. So you telling me both those things happened? Okay, so that's the F.
No. Big Show fell to his knees.
Okay, that's a double F. So I made this. I said that I wasn't going to watch AEW programming for at least a week. I'm going on suspension.
You gonna stick to that?
See, the thing is, what happened was due to the main event and what occurred at the end of it, I'm not going to be able to hold up to that. However, I will be turning the channel if I see that man on TV. And Big Show too, because you shouldn't have came out at all. So I'm just gonna amend my statement, because if what happened, what we just getting ready to get into now, if what happened right there didn't happen, I may have been able to hold up to it, but nah, not now. Not now.
Well, main event for the AEW World Championship. Kenny Omega defeats Christian Cage, and I'm gonna give this one an A-. The match on Rampage was better to me. Maybe I couldn't get into this match because I literally just saw it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. I just saw it not too long ago. So I wasn't too much into the match. It was still great though. Christian to be gone 7 years and probably couldn't be like, at least CM Punk was training in UFC. He was able to train, stay in shape. Christian, this man couldn't get cleared for any competition. So for him to come back and still be putting on bangers like he was putting on in TNA 15 years ago type bangers. Yeah, that's my guy. Shout out to Christian. But yeah, the fact that I saw this match on Rampage and also CM Punk having a match kind of mentally took me out of this. I think the crowd too. The crowd wasn't too into the match. They care more about the post-match stuff. So let's talk about the post-match stuff, shall we? Kenny Omega makes a reference to a really old episode of Being the Elite from like August, July 2017. You remember what happened in August 2017 at the end of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. There was a man named Adam Cole debuted. Adam Cole signed a contract with WWE in 2017. He had to be written off of Being the Elite, and so they killed the man off. Kenny Omega says the only person who could beat me is dead. And then Adam Cole shows up, makes his debut. And I was hyped because like Adam Cole, I mean, I didn't know if he was going to show up. I actually really thought he would stay in WWE and get Britt to come over there, but it happened the other way around. I will say the writing was on the wall when I seen that man face to face with Karrion Kross. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do for this man. And then they said his contract was expiring, and then it ended, eventually expired. I'm like, yeah, he gone.
I quietly called it last week, because if you watch or listen to the most recent episode of Marks with Mikes, which you should, because it's out right now, go check that out. Shout out to the homies. They were talking about who could possibly show up, and I did say Daniel Bryan was already on the docket. We knew that was coming. Well, Bryan Danielson, excuse me, is the real name. But I said we gotta watch out for Adam Cole, because he's a free agent with no non-compete. He can walk in to wherever he wants to at any day at this point in time. So it just had occurred to me at that point in time. I'm like, this shit could happen for real. I didn't think it would happen on the same night.
I low-key thought Adam Cole was gonna pop up on Friday though.
Right.
Versus Dom.
That's what I was thinking.
SmackDown. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. And then the other thing that kind of tipped me off to it was they kept saying over the weekend, it's like multiple surprises playing. So I'm like, okay, I know Ruby, I know DB. Who else? You know what I'm saying?
Suzuki popped up. I was like, oh, that's it.
Right, Suzuki. So I'm like, okay, so we got a nice mix coming. I didn't factor him in like completely at all, but I left it open as a possibility. So when he did show up, I'm like, yo, oh man, it was beautiful. That's beautiful. This is just where he naturally fits though.
Yeah, he blends in a lot better than in WWE.
And the music, he got the proper music now.
Oh man, that music that he had was trash. But I said this on Twitter, like he been missing a spark since he lost to Keith Lee, and he just hasn't. Something just hasn't been there for him. So I'm hoping AEW can give him that. The one that really intrigues me is shortly afterwards, I hear like the beginning riff of Flight of the Valkyries, and I'm like, oh, I know somebody that uses that song in wrestling, who main evented WrestleMania this year. Oh shit, somebody who main evented WrestleMania this year is on Impact. I mean, not Impact. Well, somebody who main evented WrestleMania last year showed up to Impact, Gallows and Anderson. But they technically they main event, but they were there too. So we had a bunch of WrestleMania main eventers in the ring at one time, and Kenny was there too. Kenny ain't never going to WWE. Bryan Danielson, excuse me. I don't know if he's like officially, maybe he might be like on a one match contract or something, but I don't know the details. But Adam Cole joins the Elite, so gets back with his friends. Like, coolest guy in that faction off rip. I might be able to care about them now because I like Adam Cole. I don't like nobody else besides Gallows in that group. Seen Carl Anderson was wilding out on Twitter a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
he down bad too.
Kenneth Omega, count your fucking days, sir.
Oh yeah. It's over.
Oh.
It's over. What are your thoughts on the latest acquisitions, and we can move in something else?
Man, it's gonna be hard for me to pay a lot of attention to the lesser shows with the Fed because this got my attention. This got my full attention, and I religiously said I can't regularly watch, AEW programming. I'm not watching Dark and Dark Elevation. That's not gonna change.
We don't watch Dark.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know how many times we gotta tell y'all we don't watch Dark. We might be Dark, but we don't watch it.
Thank you. It's just not gonna happen. But Dynamite.
I don't care if they got all the black people on there. I still ain't watching.
Yeah, which is bullshit. And we done been there. We done
talked about that last week.
You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all got audio.
I'll have an update on that situation in a few months.
Oh yeah, it's coming. But now, Dynamite and Rampage, they about to get my full attention now, like my full attention every week. Cause, boy, man.
I was just saying, like, after last week's Rampage, I was like, I need a reason to watch this show next week and going forward. Because it's like, I can't just watch the first 20 minutes. That's a lot of effort to put into watching the first 20 minutes, and the rest of the show just adds.
Yeah, man. And then all these whispers that Bray might be coming next.
That's the one that's not going to make sense to me, because the same people who like AEW, who watch AEW, are the people that subscribe to Alka-Seltzer's newsletter and that said that Bray Wyatt was the worst in wrestling just in December, which was 9 months ago. Y'all said that 9 months ago about the man, and now y'all want him to come play at y'all little situation. And you know what? I'm gonna point that out to folks if he comes. But really, he don't fit. He don't fit with what they got going there, so I can't see him there. Honestly, I kind of hope he don't show up, because he just don't fit with what they got going on.
I gotta say this. I gotta say it. If you subscribe to the cesspool that is one,
that is $13, bro.
If you listen to what?
This shit costs $13 a month. It actually used to cost $12 a month. He rose the price, whatever the proper. I'm so worked up, I can't say good grammar right now. The price went up. The price of the brick went up on the newsletter just a few months ago. He rose that shit up.
For lies and speculation.
$13 a month for fake news. Some people willingly pay that for the last 30-something years, bro. I'm dead serious.
So I'm gonna finish this thought.
That's like,
if you subscribe to that.
That's like $160 a year, bro. Like, you know how much you can use $160?
Somebody need to investigate that for fraud. If you listen to Alka-Seltzer, if you listen to Dickhead Dave and Ballsack Brian, if you listen to Shithead Sean, if you listen to any of them, if you are fans of them, if you subscribe, you cannot listen to the show. I'm telling you right now.
Sit your ass down.
This is going to be the last show you will be allowed to listen to. This is a heads up, because we at the tail end now. So If you got through this one, enjoy, because the last one that you allowed to get. If I find you, you're getting blocked on site. Because we don't do that.
Facts, man.
Fuck out of here.
All right, let's
Oh,
go.
Match is
what's
gonna
up?
get an A- because Christian looked like he really got hurt on that table spot.
Yeah,
He was like gutting through that because
the spear.
that shit was bad. Yeah. But it's Christian. I mean, this is his last run, man. He killing it.
The first words that we heard when Christian showed back up in WWE in 2009 is Christian. Those are literally the first words we heard.
That's right.
Hey, man, NXT. I don't really got much to say about NXT because I'm just waiting on the rebrand. The logo is building on me.
Yeah. That video they made about the way the
arena setup. Yeah.
That
sketch.
That got me like, okay.
Yeah, that got me intrigued.
Let's see what y'all about to do. You know?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the rebrand. So I'm not gonna talk much about what happened this past week. Just know when the rebrand come up, we got Legado del Fantasma, we got Hit Row, Carmelo Hayes. They gonna be the pillars of this thing. I'm waiting for Samoa Joe to drop the title. I don't know if he's gonna vacate it and be like, you know what, I did what I gotta do. It's for the young boys now. Like we done closed that gap, that bridge from the old era to the new era. I did that. Let's have a tournament for this shit.
I need a couple matches first.
Oh yeah, I need him and Pete.
Yeah. This is a couple we got to go down the line real quick. You got to knock those out, and then he can drop it. But I got to see those first.
Thanks. But I am intrigued by Ember Moon and Kaylee Ray whenever they decide to do that.
Ooh.
That's gonna be fun. Also, the rebrand is going to be official on the 14th, and also on the 14th, the Index wedding. And you know, there's always shenanigans with wrestling weddings, so
good lord,
I am interested in seeing what's going to happen this time. But this week,
I don't know how you get much crazier than Tombstone and the Priest, but
nah.
I the possibilities is open. You got Dexter Loomis, so
yeah. This week we got the bachelor parties and the bachelorette parties, and I seen a photo of it was Loomis, Cameron Grimes, Johnny, Drake Maverick, and Odyssey Jones.
Yeah,
which is just a random pairing of people in kayfabe. Like, it's the most random people you put together.
It looked to me like Johnny was having fun. He's talking all this shit, how he don't like him, but that man was enjoying himself.
I bet he was. You know, you when you a hater, you got to stay consistent. So that's all that was. So that should be fun. Monday Night Raw. This was just a good week, wasn't it?
Big meaty man slapping me.
Cause that triple threat, man. Damian Priest retaining the U.S. title over Sheamus and Drew Mack. That was a banger. That was one of the best matches I've seen in a minute.
You know how good you gotta be to get me to pay attention to Raw on a Monday night, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. And shout out to whoever wrote that for this week to have Priest go over clean over Drew. That's how you build stars, man. No funky, fluky stuff. Just put him over clean as a whistle. That's great. That's great for the title. That's great for the mid-card scene. That's great for everybody. Beautiful.
Hey, he came in and stole Keith Lee's swag, though.
Yeah.
Which is not Keith Lee's fault. But I see where they can go with this. Because I've been seeing some footage from house shows and dark matches. This man, Keith Lee, just been beating niggas' asses. Like, on some heel shit. So that could be the direction they go. Him and Priest had some good matches down there in Florida. So
that's supposed to be the move. Like they're doing this rebranding and like rebuilding of him up, that they kind of want to gear him towards being a heel. So that's probably what's gonna happen. I'm with that.
I need that. Also on Raw, I needed the Almighty Grand Slam. but y'all ain't want to give me that almighty Grand Slam. I can wait. It's cool. Like I love Orton. I love Matt Riddle, but it's the almighty. It's the almighty, man. We talking about a black man. You know how many black man Grand Slam champions there are? I don't know. I think The Rock did it, but then Kofi did it, and that's it. Nobody else. Because no other black people besides The Rock, Kofi, and Bobby Lashley have won the WWE title to qualify. So
I was gonna say, if you count World Heavyweight, then probably Booker, but
World Heavyweight didn't count.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. That's true. I was more hyped to see. I think that would have been MVP's first tag team title win since Matt Hardy in like 07, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it's cool though. Even if we don't get it, it's fine. Like for last week, I kind of thinking that's where they will go with it, but I don't know. Also on Raw, I'm gonna need them Georgia boys, AJ Styles and Xavier Woods, to run it back. Because I like seeing Woods, get his shine in singles matches. Bring that King of the Ring back, so we can actually officially crown a new king instead of somebody just going around claiming it. That's neither here nor there.
Oh, he's not a king no more. He's happy.
No, he's. I'm talking about the other guy.
Oh, well,
the false king.
He got the crown.
He got a crown. That's it. I can get a crown from Party City, and I'm going around calling myself a king too. That don't mean I officially assumed the title of a king. I didn't win a tournament. I didn't overcome my sister or my brother, who's also my cousin in the hierarchy ranks in Mid-Eastern England, to become king. I didn't do that. So I can't just go and wear a crown and say that I'm the king and people say it's official. It's not official.
His position was relinquished, it looks like. But I mean, he's happy. So I don't care. He ain't learned nothing. Like,
oh, he getting y'all was talking about that karma. He getting his karma back from other people who wronged him when he was down on his luck. We see it playing out. We see it playing out. Let's go talk about that on SmackDown. Let's talk about SmackDown.
Real quick though. Nia and Charlotte got some real heat, beef, something, because that was some real smacks, some real hits in that match.
I think it just got heated, man. I don't know.
I heard communication broke down and that they just started like throwing shit at each other. That's why Nia wasn't selling nothing. But I'm like, man.
Yeah, shit just got heated. It's two women who don't hold back on anybody in the ring. So they're not holding back against each other. It's gonna get heated. Like that motherfucker. Women have testosterone too. And so like that testosterone build.
Like when you start slap boxing with somebody and they hit you too hard that one time, then you start closing that fist up. Like that's that moment. Like you saw her face at the end. Remember, she looked like she was really in a fight.
You remember Braun and Brock at the Rumble?
Oh yeah.
Shit like that.
So, he jabbed that clean to the side of his head. Like, don't slow the fuck down. Oh man.
Hey, he slowed the fuck down, didn't he?
He did. It was like that man was dizzy. But Nia looked like she had really gotten into a fight. Like she was just like, I'm done with your ass. I'm out.
Even after the match, she was like, "Oh, this bitch got me fucked up." She had that look on her face.
Right.
And they running it back tomorrow, so it should be fun. SmackDown. We kicked it off with the women's champ, the man, Becky Lynch. She ducking Bianca, man. Oh, Becky Spence out there ducking the challenger.
They trying so hard to make her a heel. It's just not working.
I think it's working. Like, I mean, the crowd love her, but like the crowd is getting behind Bianca too because they want to see her and Bianca. So like, it's helping Bianca get more, from the crowd too. So I think it's helping in that way. Like the crowd they just not gonna cheer Becky, but I think we can measure the success by seeing just how it's working for Bianca. And if it's working for Bianca, that's the least they can get out of it.
Yeah, it's just you're not gonna get boos unless like she's got to do something like dirty. Like she really got a dog Bianca,
which maybe can still happen.
Yeah, like when that happens, then you.
I mean, I feel like it might be leading to that because you gotta keep, building Bianca a little bit more. We gotta make the crowd really, really, really get behind Bianca and then break their heart. It'd be like, oh no, Becky, how could you do this? Type shit. And like, Becky will probably get booed for like a month, and they're gonna be right back to it. But
that's why, like, I was just thinking about this last week. If Roman they had that Hell in a Cell match with Jay, where Jimmy stepped in there, he was like trying to talk to him and snap him out of it.
They had a crowd for that shit
before he choked him. If they had a crowd with that, oh man, that whole arena would have been nuclear for that. That's the only thing they was missing for that.
Yeah. Contract signing next week though, so we're gonna get that match. I don't know when. Is they announcing the Stream Rules?
Yeah. Okay. Stream Rules. Sonya got to see me though, because I don't like the way she treated Naomi.
That's my. I'm getting right into that. That is my next bullet point. She is holding Naomi back. She is trying to hold Naomi back. How ironic that she was on the phone with somebody named Karen when Naomi came up and was like, hey, I'm trying to work tonight. What's up? And Sonya act like she ain't had time for it. But you know what? I thought this was, people was talking about Naomi joining the Bloodline. I thought it was just lazy and kind of cliche for me. But it's starting to make sense a little bit now after we see this, because we know the Bloodline, Roman, Jay, I think Jimmy now been beefing with Adam Pearce since like January. This is 9 months. So they've been having beef with Adam Pearce, and now Naomi can have a legitimate beef with Sonya. I mean, at that point, it sells itself. Like, she gonna have to join up with her husband because she know that's the only way she gonna be able to get some fucking respect around here. She on her LeBron James. I want my respect too, damn it. Right. So I think that's the way it's gonna go now. Like, I'm on board with it now.
I like that because she gonna go knock on that door. They're gonna let her on into the fam. And then we go get the Usos and Naomi running in with the Street Profits and Bianca. I need that one time. Just one time. That I need it all. I need it all.
And then in the main event, Roman beats Finn Balor for the Universal title with the Demon lurking.
Fire match. And listen,
the match was dope.
And it's like, see, people don't watch NXT or didn't back in then, and they didn't really get to follow Finn. There's a particular noise that plays before the demon shows up. It's a heartbeat. I don't know why people swearing up and down that Brock showed up or Brock was being teased. Brock don't have nothing in his interest that got to do with a heartbeat. That is
no, but I thought I heard like the riff from Brock's music play after the heartbeat, so I feel like they played both of them. I heard both.
When I listened to it back, then I was like, okay, now that's the demon. It's like it's that thump 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 thump. Like, yeah, that's the
Roman
demon.
was just like, the fuck is that?
Right. But I love it because it's like now you got so much going on. I was saying before too. This is another reason why I hate gimmick pay-per-views, because if there was ever a time that you could build to an elimination chamber match, you got it all set. Seth and Edge still going at it. You could put them in it. Brock is out there. Finn is there. You got one slot open, and then you got Roman, and anybody can go in that spot. I don't know. I hope so, man. Like, I would be down for that, because that's the way you build to this match, instead of just saying, okay, it's February, we got an elimination match, we got to put 6 people in. Like, I don't like that.
But there's also a match that 2 of Roman's cousins were in about 20 years ago that had 6 people in it. Hell in a Cell, Armageddon. Y'all could do something like that. I know that match was a little crazy, but they wanted to run it back with 6 people again. That match was beyond crazy. They could try to make it work. But hey,
where did the hate truck come from? I don't understand.
What was the point of bringing the hate truck? Vince thought that was his big joker too. He said, "I'll bring the hay truck. Damn it, we need to stop this. We gotta get this door open. Damn it."
I was so confused. Oh man.
What they gonna do? Well, help
Rikishi must
break Rikishi bump or
got
something.
a bag for that. Yeah, I'm saying he must have got a bag for that because my man had to go backwards.
Well, I know that boy was nervous.
Oh,
like
my
the
God.
way he do that last step up, he just like he was probably in his mind. It just came off like, all right, fuck it. Can't do nothing now. I'm already up here.
Right. Oh man.
I wouldn't do that. That's just me. You would have had to pay me a lot.
Right. That's what I'm
I
saying.
would have been like, no.
If
I was Rikishi, I'd be like, no, I can't do it, Oos.
Nah, man.
Hey,
What can you do, brother?
Yeah, but next week we get Brock Lesnar returns next week at Madison Square Garden. We also get Seth and Edge in a rematch. You know, I'm mad that they remodeled Madison Square Garden because now we don't get the entrances through those side doors no more. They got rid of those in the arena when they remodeled a few years ago, and I was very disappointed when I found that out. But it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11 is next week, the day before the show. So it's very somber way to close out this episode. But if you remember, the first ever like live assembly of any kind after WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, after 9/11 was SmackDown back in 2001. So I mean, I feel it's only appropriate we just reflect a little bit on 9/11. We don't gotta go into too much detail, but like I was a little kid and now I'm an adult. And I seen they had this 9/11 doc on Netflix. I started watching it. I've seen footage before. Like I went to Washington, D.C. When I was 16. I was not 16, I was 15. I turned 16 a couple months later. So but I went to DC back in 2008 and they had this museum that was on our itinerary with the group I went with. It was called Newseum. It's called a news museum in Washington, D.C. called Newseum. And they had it's a museum about historical events. And they had a 9/11 exhibit and they showed like footage of the planes hitting the towers. And that was the first time I ever like actually seen that footage that I can remember watching it. Because when I was a kid, I saw it, but I just felt like I imagined that shit. Like I didn't know I actually saw it because I always just thought I just imagined seeing it, and that was my imagination. Because I mean, we always seen the photos and the videos of the towers burning with the black smoke coming up and the fire, even like it collapsing. I've seen that video, but like I couldn't remember seeing it actually happened until then. And on this documentary on Netflix, that shit HD, like they restored that shit in 1080p. Just they showed the towers and then just that fast. So like that shit it's crazy to me, man, that shit happened. And the fact there are adults who do not remember that event happening. I remember that happened. I'm from Nebraska. Nebraska is Nebraska is like Texas Junior. Like it's Texas with an inferiority complex. That's what Nebraska is. So nigga, we went to school that day. We still went to school. I was at school the whole day. We didn't get school off the next day. We didn't get school off at all that week. This happened, 9/11 happened at the beginning of the week. It happened on a Tuesday. Blueprint came out. Albums came out on Tuesdays. So that's how I know. That's how I remember. I remember it. That shit was crazy. And they had us in school, bro. They had us go to school. It wasn't like, I remember I always hear stories about people who was in school, especially in like New York City. They got let out of school. A whole bunch of other people have said they got let out of school. My ass in Nebraska, they had us go to school. School didn't start yet. School didn't start for another hour after 9/11 happened. They still had us go to school. They didn't send us home. That shit was crazy to me.
The wild thing about it was that that day at school is like a blur to me because I don't remember if we got out early or not. I just remember hearing something happening over like the intercom and stuff. And I just remember I left when I got out of school then because I had a babysitter that I would go to at this point in time because I was in second grade. Yeah, yeah. Third grade. But yeah, I went there and I never forget. It was on the news there at her house, and I remember seeing that. Both of my folks worked in the city, so like the whole rest of the day, I was just like I didn't have a reaction or any kind of emotion. I'm just thinking like, where are my parents at? You know what I'm saying? And like they was all cool. Like, my mom was on her way out of the city at the time. Uh, I don't think my dad was. He was in a different. Because he was a cop, so he was working somewhere differently. So neither of them were close enough, but I didn't know that. This was I was like what 10, 9 years old, and I don't have no cell phone or nothing like that,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even like a thing yet. So I'm just like, I had no reaction. I didn't know how to process this shit. I'm just sitting there watching this on the news and trying to get questions to answers I'm not gonna get until like 7, 8 o'clock at night, which is when they came around. So it was like that was the weirdest day. It really was. Like I didn't fully grasp everything that had happened till like weeks after. So it was a weird day. It was a real weird day.
Yeah, I remember I was eating breakfast, man, and like we always had like the news on, like the Today Show and shit, and they just sounded like it was just like I remember just hearing a bunch of panic from the television. I'm eating breakfast. I'm in the kitchen. I'm just like making some toast, and I just hear a bunch of panic from the television. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm young. I have no idea. I knew it was something serious, and I think it's less about patriotism because everybody they like to throw that like the propaganda and shit. They just make it like this is a good time for patriotism. It's America first, America together. Like fuck all that because like is no unity in the United States at all except for the name. But even with this, I think it was unfortunately one of the few times we have been able to come together as citizens, as civilians, all affected by something. And even that is with his own faults, like because we ended up treating citizens poorly, in anger, in response. Anybody with brown skin, anybody who people are in Indians didn't do it. Indians are a part of Al Qaeda. It's a whole nother country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like anybody that had brown skin, Mexican. I know some people who are Mexican who were harassed and by so-called patriots thinking they seen a brown skin, thinking they had something to do with it. It's just like I can only imagine people who I can't think about it. It's like I guess everybody gets a turn in the United States. Like Black people, we had a turn. You know what I mean? They had, anybody with brown skin had a turn for the last 20 years. But I know like those first few years just had to be rough, and I can only imagine. Like I don't know, I can't compare our situations to their situations, different things, but I see it, and it's tough. And yeah, man.
These situations is like it's a double-edged sword because it'll bring people together, but it's also like the prime moment to amplify racism. Because when
every
COVID
single
happened, it was like
all
it's China virus
anti-Asians, and
all
we get all
this
this.
this Asian hate. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one thing after another. It's wild.
Yeah, America on some bullshit, man. But I wouldn't say America first, but I would say motherfuckers that have common sense first. But dude, you got common sense. You don't think about doing it. You don't go out of your way to proclaim just how good you are. You just do it. And I remember hearing the story. Gonna wrap this up here soon, but I remember like hearing a story about this firefighter who I think he was on duty, a first responder at 9/11, and I don't remember how many people he saved, but he took like 2, 3, 4 trips through that tower and got as many people as he could out of there. And like I'm getting chills thinking about this, like, because like I'm just replaying a bunch of images that I saw on the news that day. The tower's burning. I'm seeing people falling to their death from the top of the tower. And like that shit's giving me chills thinking about it, because it's like it makes you angry. Because I was watching that Netflix documentary. I had to turn it off because I started getting angry, because like you look at the big picture and you know that what they tell us about that day is not true. And when you just think of like, damn, government killing its own people to push an agenda and get a point across for some resources. And yeah, it's fucked up, but we can't do much of what we can do. And I'm glad our 3-time Peasant of the Week was able to take the initiative back in 2001 and give America, the thing is like wrestling is such a niche thing, but he made sure he did his part to give us something, us as Americans, as citizens, to give us something to kind of take our mind off of it. He put together a show. He didn't have to work. So it's really just, I'm just glad everybody's been able to kind of, especially since then, and we are able to rally around each other and kind of help ease the pain of it as much as possible. Crazy shit. I hope they don't ever pull no shit like that ever again, because it's really unnecessary. All right, you got your point across. He ended the war after 20 years. Or conveniently ended it a couple weeks before the 20th anniversary. But yeah. I do know. Oh, go ahead.
My pops say all the time, it's like people don't want to get it, and it's like it is what it is. You learn the easy way or the hard way. But my pops say all the time, like if people understood what this government really does and why they do it, y'all would not be flying these flags around here and screaming all this pride that you got. Like you gotta, the truth is gonna hit you one way or another. So I mean,
only anthem we acknowledge is Dipset.
Facts. All day, every day.
Big facts, man. And I just want to close this out by saying Zelina Vega has been back, 2 months now? Her father passed in 9/11. So I think this is the perfect time this week to give her her first win back. Like it will make for a good moment. Her hometown, anniversary of her father's death. Good moment. We love moments around here.
And another thing that needs to happen this week, Fredo Heyman need to get got.
Oh yeah, it's about that time.
You think you slick? We caught you with that ringtone.
Oh, yeah, the whole ass ringtone too.
Yeah.
Hey, it's cool though. Brock there to protect you if you feel like it. That's the thing. You gotta feel like it
a little bit too much. Talking about he know how. It's like how you know where Brock lives. How you know Brock gonna be here.
Right.
Roman asking all the right questions. You know what I'm saying?
You about to get caught in 4K, my guy, and it ain't about to look crazy. So SmackDown, my favorite show. I look forward. Like if there's no other, I mean, there's obvious reasons to look forward to the end of the week, but there's SmackDown too. So I'm excited about it. Hey man, it's the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast, episode 105. Go ahead, plug your social, sir.
You can find me at RickHavoc24 on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, go check out the Havoc Hour on all the platforms that you find the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast on. Sports and entertainment, heavy on entertainment lately, but we're going to get back into the sports football season just getting started. We got NFL coming this week. College football, wild weekend of college football just passed. But
I know we faced Fordham, but I'm still bragging about it.
hey, listen, it's a W's
The
and
win is
W's.
yeah.
You take it where you get. My cinema series spinoff. I'm concluding the Star Wars series tomorrow night with the sequel series.
That's tomorrow.
So
You ain't
yes,
tell
sir.
nobody.
Yes, sir. I thought we didn't put you in the group chat. That's right. My bad. Yeah. So
That's why I didn't get on the big super show.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to do like tomorrow night after Raw, but yeah, just let me know because I got you in there because we got the original group back together. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up the Star Wars series. Probably gonna move back to the horror ones because we got a Nightmare on Elm Street series to do. But yeah, y'all keep it locked. There's plenty of other content on there. Go check that out on the YouTube for the videos. Got it on all the other audio platforms as well. Go check those out. And like I said too, just did the show with Marks with the Mics. It was kind of last minute, out of nowhere when Raw was getting ready to start. He was like, "Yo, you want to come through and link up, get crazy?" It's a funny ass episode because them dudes is crazy. If you've never heard of Whiskey Dicks, you will find out what that is on that episode.
Oh.
I said the same thing when I first heard it, but that's an anthem on that show apparently because they got some sponsors with a company that makes pickles, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Go watch the episode. I'm sure you're curious if you heard this part so far, so just go check the episode out. It was good shit.
Whiskey Dicks.
Yeah.
Bumping meat. Go get the strap.
Hey, I am TC Fontaine. You can follow me on Instagram at tc.fontaine. I probably won't post on Instagram again until I'm in a movie that's in post-production, and I don't know when they're gonna release it. They said they're gonna release the trailer soon, which means they might be done with the movie. But you know what? When it ain't your stuff, you just gotta sit back and wait. So when that come out, I will probably post on Instagram again. But you can check us out, YK Wrestling, everywhere except Instagram. They some hoes. Our account is still in limbo. I don't think it even exists anymore. It's out there in the cloud void, and it's gone forever. And that's when I really stopped caring. I started wilding on social media after they took away Instagram because I was doing things the real PR way. Like I was following the model, the PR model, and then they took that away from me. So you know what? I took the gloves off, and I be arguing with wannabe journalists on the brand Twitter sometimes. That's how that goes.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that.
They liars anyway.
Certified liar boys. Facts, man. Young Kings Wrestling Podcast. We out of here. Go. Got it.